So this video is him spreading anti-mask bullshit. So, which is again the reason why they got kicked off of YouTube is because even like at the beginning of this video, we're not going to show it, but you can see. Well, I mean, it's blocked by my screen there. It says YouTube requires that we indicate that some opinions in this video contradict the consensus medical opinion about COVID-19. So they even put it right up in the front of their thing that maybe you should know that we're going to be contradicting the thing. And that's like in their mind, they're skirting the censors to YouTube. But really, they're just signaling to the world that they're going to be lying about this global pandemic that we're all experiencing. And so that's what this video is. They're going to go into detail about why they're full of shit.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, can you believe it? Cruella de Villa and Deputy Mayor John Tory, they are opening up the city. You can actually come out now and have outdoor dining. Still can't go inside. The Wuhan virus hates people that dine indoors, but kind of gives them a pass if they're outdoors.
See, it's shit like that. Like they want to say, we're not spreading COVID misinformation. We're not spreading COVID denialism. You
just did it. You just did it, you fuck.
And we're 45 seconds, and the first sum of seconds are like the bumper to this video. But it's like 2 seconds into this friggin' video, and he's already coming out. Now, for those at home, like we're a year into this, you should know by now that when you're indoors, the virus has less room to diffuse, and so it can like become more prevalent in a space, which is why air circulation is very important, to circulate the air out of the building so that the virus load doesn't hang in the air. So when you're outdoors, it is very diffuse. The virus can go all over the place and just take up space and therefore be so like less potent, which is why outdoor activities are less likely to transmit the disease. Even though they still recommend that you stay quite a distance and you wear a mask, because even before it gets diffuse, if you're standing right in front of someone talking, you could get a viral load from that. But that is why indoor dining is banned, David Menzies. And that is why you're spreading COVID denial in the first fucking minute of this video.
Unrelated to David Menzies, can we all give a thank you to Catboy Spaghetti for following?
Yes.
Thank you, Catboy Spaghetti.
Thank you very much, Catboy Spaghetti.
I already thanked them.
No, I'm going to do it now. Thank you,
Thank
Catboy
you.
Spaghetti.
Also, back to David Menzies. Really enjoying that hat, I gotta say.
Yes. But I wonder, like...
I like cats, and I like spaghetti.
When he mentioned Columbo, I was imagining Columbo with a hat. Like, I don't know, like, but it is like there's something about David Menzies and like an appeal to the past and like the desire to dress like he's from the 1950s and he's a detective agent. LOL, thanks. Yes. You're awesome, Catboy Spaghetti. I still gotta figure out, like, your name was hanging on the fucking screen for like ever there. I don't know what I did. But now my follows and subscriptions just hang at the top of the screen there for like forever, which is fine. But I'll try to shorten it.
Now, here's the problem. You obviously have to be maskless if you are dining because, well, here's the situation. By the way, folks, we sell these. These are the only masks I wear when I have to wear a mask. Masks are useless.
Like...
This image, just this still image, kind of just encapsulates everything David Menzies. Just the hat, the suit, the dumb fucking mask that is like entirely an oxymoron and covers up an actual moron. It's art.
Why did we get demonetized? Why did we get demonetized? I remember specifically one of the points in the like terms of service for harmful content was like downplaying like the use of masks and stuff like this. When you're advertising a product, which happens to be a mask, but like expressly says right on it, masks are useless. What are you telling the audience? What are you telling the audience? And
that's probably what they would argue, right? Well, yeah, it says masks are useless, but it's on a mask. so you can wear the
Not
mask.
say it? Here, let's.
By the way, folks, we sell these. These are the only masks I wear when I have to wear a mask. Masks are useless masks.
Masks are useless. Mask.
So you see what the problem is. Now, of course, we reported.
Did he?
I was gonna say something. I started coughing. I'm glad he did that because I wouldn't have been able to
No,
tell the
that's thing.
problem.
It's like, oh, we would have never have been able to know if we didn't have David Menzies on the scene that says you can't eat through a mask. We needed David Menzies to do this experiment to teach us firsthand why you can't do this. I will say the other day, I was at a moment where I was hungry and I was wearing a mask and I had something in the car and I went to go eat it and like boom, it was like, oh yeah, I'm wearing a fucking mask.
Yeah, I've definitely almost done that too. So it's like, whatever. It's a dumb thing that we have to get used to.
Yeah. No, you have brain fart moments, but it's just like the fact of like, did you need to do this David demonstration, Menzies? No. And then we get the pleasant, like him having to take off the mask again.
So you see what the problem is. Now, of course, we reported months ago that John Tory wanted you to eat by taking the mask off, and once you put the food in your mouth, put the mask back on. Do you remember that slice of insanity?
People will call it fine-tuning, but on my doors open safely kind of approach, that's the kind of thing that you may have to say, which is you're going to be a little more stringent about when people have to wear a mask, which is aside from the fact when you're taking a sip or when you're taking a bite, you have the mask on. So while you're waiting for your food, while you're looking at the menu, all those times you keep it on, and it is going to be incumbent upon the restaurateur.
Yeah, so that's...
Did he say what David Menzies said he said?
No, he didn't. He didn't explicitly say you got to put the mask on and chew, or you got to put the mask on and gulp your drink. He said it seemed to me,
Waiting
and this is just
while you're
me.
ordering.
Yeah, while you're ordering, or it's like, oh, my meal is now here, so I'm going to like remove the mask while I eat / drink. I'm not going to put it up every time I take it. What is fucking more?
Yeah. Like I was waiting for it. Like I guess like maybe the portion when he was talking about like slurping or like taking a bite. But even then, like it was clear to me that it was more like when you're like hanging around and you're not eating yet, or when you're like ordering your food and stuff like this.
Or like if you get distracted during your meal and you start talking a lot, then like maybe put your mask back on until you want to take a bite again.
Yeah, sure, fair.
Yeah. They make. I mean, that was like. I remember their other big thing is like going off on Theresa Tam, because Theresa Tam once tweeted, that. Well, I think it was the AP tweeted that she said something, and it had to do with wearing a mask during sex, and like Ezra and David Menzies have never let that go and constantly bring it up, like that Theresa Tam is some sort of like sadomasochist wanting us all to wear like masks during sex, but all she was saying, and what got like improperly quoted by the AP, was that if you're going to meet up with a partner for some sex, someone that you're not like familiar with necessarily, or like you haven't known for longer than 2 weeks, maybe it's best to try to wear a mask so that you're not like breathing on each other when you don't know that they're COVID infected or not. But they make it out to seem like she was arguing that, like, I don't know, if you're a married couple that are isolating together, that you should wear a mask during sex or something. Which, like, you know what? If that's your kink, like, have at it, you know?
Yeah, I said it earlier. Don't kink shame, you know? Like, whatever.
But that's, like, not at all what Theresa was saying. So it's like weird that they listen to the health officials and then purposefully read in these, like, negative connotations to be like, aren't these people, like, absurd? Like, telling us, like, to eat, to put a mask on while we chew? Oh my god.
Wait, what do you mean, YouTube? You're kicking us off for COVID misinformation?
I mean, this could be this whole video. Everything that he says, it's like, this is why you got kicked off of YouTube. Well, not kicked, well, let's hope one day, but demonetized at the very least.
Mayor John Tory channeling Gavin Newsom. Well, if you can believe it, folks, a couple of researchers in Mexico have come up with another crazy way to try to, I guess, clamp down on maskless enjoyment of dining. And it's this, right off the hopper from Reuters. Researchers in Mexico have made a nose-only, yes, a nose-only COVID-19 mask, which they say reduces the risk of infection of coronavirus during eating and talking. The people behind this nose-only mask say taking off the face mask to eat or drink leaves one exposed to the virus, while this nose-only mask still provides some sort of protection.
The thing that's weird about this is I don't know to what extent this is a decent study with a good like whether the thing was operationalized appropriately, all that fun stuff. But like David Menzies doesn't seem to be critiquing any of that. His critique seems to be, isn't this silly? Which is not, you know, because he's reading the study, and what the study is saying is that it seems that it still provides some sort of protection. So maybe like simply blocking the nose prevents, like while you're chewing, you're breathing through your nose. And then like, so if you have the nose mask, you're stopping dispersal of the viral load into the atmosphere. And so therefore it can still reduce the spread of the infection if you're going to go ahead anyways and eat in a restaurant. And in that case, it's like, okay, why wouldn't you try to reduce it a little more to be nice to other people? But instead, David Menzies is like, oh my God, look at it, so funny. What, like,
Yeah.
it's like almost like, why would I wear a seatbelt? I think they're so silly. They're so constraining and like they make me feel uncomfortable. And I'm David Menzies. I'm gonna risk my life for no reason.
What is this? Are you guys kidding me?
Yeah. I don't get it.
According to Johns Hopkins University in the USA,
What are those
cells
university
that give
people know?
people a sense of smell are a key entry point for coronavirus, making nose coverings like these important. However, the World Health Organization
Like, listen to the intonation. He goes, John Hopkins has put out a study showing that nose cells are are important receptors in transmitting this disease. And then he's like, important? But it's like, I don't know, they're fucking university scientists, David. Like, maybe they know a bit more than you. It's like argument by
However,
intonation.
the World Health Organization
Listen to this shit.
recommends people wear a face mask that covers the nose, mouth, and chin. Yeah, the WHO would recommend a face mask to cover the nose, mouth, and chin while you're eating. Unbelievable.
Like, now I used to TA in philosophy, and like one of the sort of like advice that I would give to students who are like writing papers and how to improve their writing is like never just say like clearly this is not true. Like usually if you're using clearly, you're using it as a stand-in to like ignore the important argument you should be making, right? So him just being like, it's unbelievable, and it's like, why is it unbelievable, David? Do you want to unpack that? Like, it seems to me like you're just hinged on the fact that this is silly and not on the fact of like, I don't know, maybe these research scientists have a point. Let's take a look at their paper. Let's address the argument. Let's break it down. Instead, it's like, this is silly. I'm David Menzies. We got demonetized for COVID denial. Even though they don't.
But
they claim
anyways,
they don't know
I
why.
couldn't help notice two things. One, we're on the cusp of April Fool's Day, so maybe this is a premature April Fool's joke, in which case, well, good on these researchers. They hoodwinked the mainstream media to go with this story, but
Like, what? Research, and he does
good
the
on
scare
these
quotes. Right? You saw him go for it, right? Like it just,
well, good on these.
like his hands are going up for the researchers. They are researchers from a university. Like, like when we go reporter, when we're talking about David Menzies, it's because David Menzies isn't actually reporting anything. These
No,
people
David
actually did
Menzies
research.
is not a reporter. He's a fucking clown.
Yeah.
Like, I just had a question, just out of my own were university scientists and researchers not instrumental in developing the vaccines that are now being distributed all over the place, or am I misremembering?
Well, I guarantee you they probably don't believe in the efficacy of the vaccine. They've
Right,
tried their
I
best
know.
to like skirt that in various ways by being like, well, I'm not anti-vaccine, I'm just pro-safe vaccine, and I have questions about the current vaccines. And here's the thing: is they might be the type of people that would, like Donald Trump, get the vaccine and just not tell their like anti-vaccine audience that they got it. Because I have a feeling like they know better. Because again, I bring this up. The ironic thing about all of this is if we were to go back a year ago, their coverage up until about mid-April, or not, I think it was even like close to the end of April, their coverage on the pandemic was this is going to be devastating. It's going to kill us all. It was a Chinese developed bioweapon that's going to destroy us. We need to wear masks. The fact that Trudeau didn't tell us to wear masks is Trudeau being a bad leader who didn't move fast enough. All of this. The lockdowns are good. Why haven't we locked down the airports? Everything should be shut down. That was the reporting back in April of 2020. And now a year later, the virus isn't real. Why? Look at these silly people wearing masks. Masks are useless. We're going to sell you a mask that says masks are useless on it. We're going to question the vaccines. And I wonder, like, what exact... I feel like the shift was... I honestly think the shift was back in April, end of April, is when Chris Sky started showing up to these protests. And that's when the anti-lockdown movement started to gain momentum out of Toronto specifically. And I feel like it was at that point where both Ezra and David were like, we can take advantage of this like movement that's starting. And they sort of like latched onto it. And that's the only thing I could think of. Because like what else is, other than like a monetary reason, would get them to behave this fucking stupid? Especially when, in a way, they were right at the beginning of this thing. Which is weird. I hate to say it, but like they were right. We could go back and play the clips again. They were fucking like Ezra was talking about asymptomatic transmission. Like they were completely other than the other than the Chinese bioweapon theory. I'm still so confused on how people's stances completely shifted like that. And the weird thing is like they're still like anti-China and stuff like this, but they can no longer use their narrative about the bioweapon anymore. Like that's kind of been like shifted to the side, even though they still want to fearmonger about China generally. And I don't know. I wish I could like get into their heads, like I don't know, stick their brain in an fMRI, which I know won't really tell me, but I wish there was like some tool I could use to just stick them in and be like, oh, that's why they changed their mind.
Researchers, they hoodwinked the mainstream media to go with this story, but if they are actually serious about this, what I can only think about are the Groucho glasses that first debuted in the 1940s. I found one
like
at
he
a
permanently
store.
lives in the past.
As you can see, it's a set of it's a nose covering, so it fits into that, as well as eyeglasses and furry eyebrows and a mustache. And it was meant for levity and jocularity. But here we have people in Mexico saying this is the way to go. So let's see how this works out.
This is news. This is reporting, everybody. David Menzies, journalist, went to David Menzies. Ezra is always proud to stipulate, is the only crew member at Rebel who went to journalism
as you can
school.
see, even my big fat schnoz is completely covered by the Groucho glasses. And so the risk of infection is
look at the cash person.
At least in terms.
She's just like, what the fuck is that person doing? The whole time she's just staring at him.
Yeah, I'm gonna back it up just a little more to watch.
Completely covered by the Groucho glasses. And so the risk of infection is
I think she's laughing at him.
Pretty much zero, at least in terms of
I hope it's
the
laughing
nose
at him.
transmission.
I hope so much it's laughing
and
at
as
him.
you can see, there's no pesky face mask to impede my mouth from eating these delicious fries.
I'm so
Do
glad.
you think this
David
might
was on the
catch on?
scene.
Will people come to your food court and wear something like this to protect their nose while eating?
It's no way. I mean, people, they need to eat, brother. I mean, they have to take the mask out and how they can eat. They have to feel comfortable to eat. I mean, it's a big mess, brother. Yeah, that's it.
Oh my god, that person.
Oh,
Holy shit!
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Where did he find these people?
This is Toronto, right? This has to be Toronto.
Well, yeah, the first person. It's definitely Toronto. I mean, the first person was kind of innocuous. I have a feeling like this person's gonna say some fucking stupid shit.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Oh, fucking Control Boy.
Do you think this might catch on? Do you see in the summer a whole bunch of customers here in your food court wearing something like this to protect them from the virus?
Did I miss what the guy
I mean,
actually
they have to
said?
take the mask out and how they can eat. They have to feel comfortable to eat. I mean, it's a big mess, brother. Yeah, that's it.
Do you think
What? I didn't even hear what he said, but I like it.
He said, "Fuck that shit, buddy," or something like that, and then that was it. Because I imagine he probably started saying a bunch of shit where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get kicked right off of YouTube if we let that go to air."
Let me tell you about the protocols.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do like the first guy. Like, there's this like, I feel it when talking to my parents too, because my parents visited today. Of a kind of like, just a jocular kind of like, well, it's all messed up, you know. as
Yeah.
a general, like everyone can relate. Like everything's messed up right now. It's all messed. I'm getting frame rate drops again. I hope that it's not actually dropping. Jesus. Fix my internet. I don't know what's happening right now.
Is Windows being evil again?
I don't know. Let me minimize that. To make
think this might catch on?
I
Do
don't
you
need to listen to you again. No, seems like it's paused. Pull up my thing here, see if there's any other background processes happening. Nope, got nothing. I don't know what the hell's happening. Not a big new computer shouldn't be doing this. It's been working fine the last few days. I don't know why today is the day where it's like I'm gonna crap out on you. Especially when my other computer could handle it okay doing these streams, but
Bill Gates.
yeah, it's Rebel's hacking my servers.
You see in the summer a whole bunch of customers here in your food court wearing something like this to protect them from the virus?
Absolutely not possible. This is not
Oh,
comfortable at all.
Sir, are we living in an insane world right now?
Insane, yeah, we are. We are.
But folks, don't you find it downright, I don't know, insane that something that debuted in the 1940s as a piece of slapstick jocularity is now considered cutting edge PPE in 2021? How surreal is that? How comical is that? How downright clownish is that? But then again, folks, this is more proof in the pudding that we are indeed living in clown world.
that is a fucking fascist dog whistle too. Although I don't know that David Menzies is clever enough to fucking know that.
No, he's not. I just that one guy, like you were saying, like the kind of like jovial dude that seemed kind of like, oh yeah, totally crazy, like whatever, like yeah, that guy. Like, I wonder how that interview went, like like over the course of the whole interview, because it's probably just someone like is like, hey, this is all crazy, right? It's like, yeah, it is.
Well, I mean,
With
like,
like no context whatsoever. It's like you don't know. He may not know who Rebel is, so like he's like, yeah, sure, it is crazy. I'm not saying, you know what I mean? Like they're being totally. He's being reasonable in the interview, and they're cutting it in a certain way to make him fit their narrative.
yeah, I don't even know if that's it, or if it's just like, I don't know. I've seen so many interactions with people with other people who hold like conspiratorial beliefs, where like people don't want to be like confrontational and be like, you're a fucking idiot, Instead,
Yeah.
they just want to go along with it. Yeah, isn't it? It's everything's crazy, man. We just don't know what's up. It's all crazy. Like it's a way of like agreeing, but at the same time like not really assenting to any of the positions that have been said. You know what I mean? To like sort of like move the conversation along.
Yeah, you don't want to get in an argument.
Exactly. But yeah, the dropping the clown order. But I love like the whole argument is like, look, isn't this silly? But again, like this is a lot different than this. You know, there's they're not the same things. One is clearly a gag prop, and the other is a possible nose covering that may or may not be effective. I don't know. One study out of Mexico is one study out of Mexico, but maybe it is effective. I don't know.
Hello, my rebels. Hello, my rebels. I'm a good boy. I'm a weirdo.